Hi everyone, today's video is all about the new Xiaomi Redmi Watch 5. Let's discuss it, but before, of course, start with the specifications of it. So a quick overview of the specs of the new Redmi Watch 5. You get a 2.07 inch AMOLED display with a 60Hz refresh rate and 1500 peak brightness. We have a 550 mAh battery and that should allow for 24 days of use. Next to it, it supports Bluetooth calling, it has a heart rate sensor, blood oxygen sensor, acceleration sensor, gyroscope, ambient light sensor and an electronic compass. You can also swap the bands themselves. Now let's naturally also do a little bit of an unboxing experience and what you get with this Redmi Watch 5. Of course, naturally here you get your watch itself, but next to it your charging cable, which is connected magnetically. Though I feel like these systems are a bit of a pain for myself, because yes, I had to look for them quite often because it isn't a universal thing. But that being said, I understand that it's probably not really possible to put a full USB-C port in a watch, especially if you want to have proper water resistance in such a small body. And of course, naturally you get your papers with it as well. Now this isn't an in-depth review, but more of my experience with it. One thing, as I stated before on many other smart band reviews, is that I need to have a good battery life. I do not want to keep charging my battery all the time. Having every odd day to charge my watch is just annoying, and at one point I would just put it away and not use it ever again. With the Redmi Watch 5, I do actually get a really good battery life. I've been using it now for a week and I haven't needed to charge it yet. And when it comes to what I use Raise to Wake, so I can easily see the time when I need to, but it's off when I don't look at the display itself. Now, when it comes to that display, it's properly visible outside. Though of course the weather is mostly just cloudy, so it's really hard to judge how it would really perform in a bright summer day. Now when it comes to use, I also noticed that I can easily use it in the shower. It has a 5 ATM rating, but the display allows me to scroll through it and touch it while it is having water on it. So I can easily, for instance, change my song, change the video or whatever I'm watching, or take calls and more. Of course, naturally you can also scroll with the new wheel on the side itself, though if I'm being realistic, I prefer the normal buttons that we have on some other smartwatches from them. I don't use the scroll feature at all. Now the Watch 5 comes with a lot of different sport modes as well to track your activity, like hiking, cycling, treadmill, rope jumping, swimming and more. Now for me, naturally it's mostly tracking walking, but it does that by default naturally as well. And of course it is properly integrated into the Mi Fit app as well, so you can quickly look on your phone how you are doing when it comes to your calorie intake and of course your steps as well. Now one feedback that I do have with the magnetic band is that I don't think it's the most stable one. Every now and then it would just get loose because I did something that pushed force on that wrist. So I would say it's not the most stable one. When it comes to the use, I prefer this band. One, you can just easily strap it on, but next to it, it is also very stable, it's light and you don't really feel it. The same counts for the purple one that you get with the watch itself, but for myself I prefer this over the one that you get by default with the watch itself. Now when it comes to this Redmi Watch 5, it's not going to be something like you see from Samsung, Apple or Google. This is going to be a more of a sport band. With that being said, it does come at sacrifices when you use those smartwatches. As stated, when it comes to this kind of smartwatch, battery life is excellent, and for me that matters far more than the complicated things that it can potentially record on a watch like for instance from Apple, Samsung and Google. Not to mention that I simply wouldn't use those features. I don't want to call someone natively from a smartwatch where other people can hear it. I don't want to text from it at all, and so on. I feel like this is the kind of smartwatch that I'm looking for personally. This is something that I use. The others, I simply put it off and forget about it, because I don't want to charge my watch every odd day. Either way, this was my take on the Redmi Watch 5. If you have any specific questions about it, do let me know in the comments below, because then of course I can help you with those answers. Hope you enjoyed this video and talk to you guys in the next.